Is it all right if we play some chess?
Sure.
Good. I don't play chess very well. I understand you do.
I don't. I'm okay.
Good. Well, there's no prize here other than to have some fun, yes? All right. Now, here we go. Pardon me. Go like that. Let me just ask you to start. All right. Fixed schedules. Mandatory procedures, everything documented. So how was your retreat in prison?
It was mixed. You know, some parts were fun and interesting. Some parts were terrible.
So tell me something. What color were your uniforms?
Well, they were brown when we started.
Yes.
And then you had these beige ones in the other prison. So, you know, they were pretty much, that's it.
Did you have a favorite prison?
Yes. There was one that was more like the rules were not enforced very much.
I see. And you preferred not to have rules?
Yeah, I you know, in your place with a lot of rules, so fewer of them would be nice.
What was the rule that you, let's say, liked the most?
Liked the most?
Yes.
I mean, I hate to tell you this, but as a criminal, so to speak, technically, you know, criminal, I don't believe I ever committed a crime, but
Understand.
you know, the rules are the rules. I don't like rules. They're confining. Most criminals hate rules.
So, and I understand, but not from that perspective. And there's no judgment. All I care is that people comply, that there's conformance. Yes?
Well, I think for certain things, you know, there should be, you know, I had a different opinion from many other prisoners who they were very opposed to that. In fact, I would say they're almost the opposite extreme. I felt that there should be some rules that should be complied with. There's some things that people just have commonly agreed to, like jaywalking. I don't know, did you cross the street carefully? Did you follow the rules of the lights and the crosswalk sign and all that?
Oh, of course.
In New York, we tend to not do that. We tend to just cross even though it says don't walk.
But that is illegal.
It is technically illegal, but it's one of these things that is, you know, we just kind of commonly have agreed that it's okay.
So interesting. We don't do that in Europe.
Europe is different from here.
Yes,
that's for sure.
Oh, you brought up something. I want to ask, if I may. Cell phones.
Yes.
You like cell phones.
I do.
You use cell phones.
I do. Well, rap music isn't exactly hummable sometimes, but I think that, well, listen,
Try.
I wanted to be, I wanted to talk about startups here. You know, you're talking about Wu-Tang. Yes, I have a startup.
Yes. Oh, I love that's a very, very, very good segue. If you want to talk about startups,
Yeah.
we won't talk about
And you
Wu-Tang.
invest, so let's talk.
I do invest. I'm a venture capitalist.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So tell me,
do you ever do a deal with Sequoia?
Sequoia, no. I found that the amount of things, the regulations that were associated.
Lightspeed?
No, I like other things.
Founders Fund?
I don't speak of those things. You have to look at my website for that. How about you? What's your favorite? You're working on several startups now, as I see. I think.
Well, really mostly one, but it's a software company.
What is it?
It's a financial software company. So we make financial software and for traders, investors, things like that.
Yes.
And, you know, I have a lot of expertise in that space. And yeah, we are actually raising a small additional round. So if you want to participate, we can talk about it.
Well, are you talking about 100 euros, 1,000 euros?
Sorry?
I mean, how much are you asking? That's quite.
I mean, it's in the millions.
Millions. How many pages is your compliance manual?
Well, we're the kind of software company that we have a terms of service.
Yes.
We use something called Termly, I think.
Terminally.
Termly, I think it's called. I
Yes.
don't know for sure.
Terminally, I think it's called. I don't know for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
And they generate our terms of service automatically, I think.
Do you read them?
No.
No.
I can't say I've read them, but they have some terms in there.
I hope that they do. You know, sometimes terms are important to read.
Yes.
This new fund, this new endeavor,
Yes.
you said you like, this is what you're promoting.
Plus-
And you're in a raise phase?
Yeah, we've raised about 7 million so far.
7 million. And
Yeah.
what is your goal?
My goal is to be one of the biggest financial software companies ever, if not the biggest.
And what percentage of your earnings are you putting aside for compliance of the equity that you're raising?
We plan on hiring a compliance person.
Yeah. I think the compliance person might be the first person that you want to hire.
That's unfortunately not possible. We've already hired some engineering people, and then we have about 20 people.
20. And where's it based?
New York City mostly.
And how are you feeling? Are you getting good response?
It's great. Yeah, revenue is up. We have millions of dollars of revenue. We are lucky in that we got revenue. We tried a few other products they didn't take, and then we tried this product. It took really well. We have customers from around the world. We're raising a little bit more money to do an acquisition, and it's exciting.
I'll ask you a question as a sidebar, which is exciting, by the way. This is, to me, a renaissance from rebirthing. You're bringing yourself forward.
Sure. I could say that.
Which is very, very, very admirable.
Thank you.
If I said to you, okay, this is a basic question.
Sure.
Which would you invest in? Would you invest in Amazon, or would you invest in the one that has no revenue, 8 years, but has great, great, great conformance and regulations?
Well, what's the product they have?
There is no product.
Is there any asset?
No.
Well, I guess the asset is the compliance.
And exactly.
But if there's no plan.
Oh, I don't say there's no plan, but the key is to first have the priorities of the compliance, and then the plan will follow. That's the way that we work.
Okay. Compliant. You seem focused on compliance.
I am. Yes, I am.
But I thought VC investing was about moonshots. Getting these, because I build more traditional businesses.
Yes.
I try to build them steady, but I still focus on growth and things like that. You sound like there's nothing more important to you than compliance.
No, there's nothing more important. For example, you see the SOC 2.
Yes.
I brought these for you. Touch the SOC 2.
Can I?
Yes, sir, please. I want you to. Do you feel, let's close your eyes. You feel that? I mean, how would you describe that, Bart?
It feels official.
Yes. And look. Now, I must say, I brought these over with me. It was not easy to get through customs because they thought it was something.
Yeah.
I sleep with these at night.
You're proud of them, I guess.
I'm proud of them. 3 a.m. in the morning, I go like this. In fact, I brought this last night and I touched it like this. And then at 4:30, I awaken and I read manuals and I transcribe things in Gaelic, which I've been working on now. Do you speak Gaelic?
I don't.
I don't either, but that's why it's so difficult and challenging.
I think compliance sounds really important to you, and I think that's admirable because we have rules for a reason. In fact, my wife works at this one called OpenAI.
OpenAI.
Yes.
I
Have you heard of them?
Yes. Tell me about what does she do for them?
She does the artificial intelligence.
Really?
Yeah. And so they're a big startup. You may have heard of, I know, Anduril.
Yes.
Some of these
she works
startups.
for them too.
No,
she
does
does
not
many,
work for them.
many things.
She does not. I'm just talking about other companies that we have a big, vibrant startup ecosystem. So I would think as a venture capitalist, you want to be part of those deals.
Well, I'm very careful. I am very proud of some of my investments. Most of them have not necessarily made money.
Okay.
But
that's normal in VC.
That's my point. There was a company that I was going to invest in. It was, you probably haven't heard of it though. It's called Stripe.
Yes, I'm familiar.
I was going to invest in them in the early 2009, 2010.
It would have been a really good investment.
But I did not. And I'm very proud that I didn't. Instead, no, I invested in a small company, Finnish company. Today, we have $465,000 of revenue, and euros, I should say, a year. And we're very proud. We are totally compliant. We have all of our codes and regulations. And, oh, I have to ask you, cookie banners.
Yeah. We don't do them. Sorry, I just don't know why all these sites have them. Who cares?
Perhaps the person who wants to make sure that they're not going to have their information frosted.
Just don't go to the website. If you're afraid of everything in life, don't wake up in the morning and cross the street.
Are you afraid of anything?
No.
Nothing.
I'm afraid of you.
Of me?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, this compliance thing, you're taking it too far. I'm sort of somebody, believe it or not, like I've never taken an illegal drug, so I'm very compliant with that.
That's good.
Isn't that interesting?
Do you drink little alcohol?
Every now and then.
Which is not illegal.
Not illegal.
Good. Okay. I interrupted you.
No. And so the point is that, like, I maybe lost the point.
It's okay. You were saying, I think, that you were talking about compliance and maybe somebody else was asking you what.
Yeah, I was going to joke that you should maybe smoke some marijuana.
Some weed.
Yeah.
Is it legal?
It's legal in some ways. In New York, it's currently legal, but you have to jump through some compliance.
Well, I understand they have these things called dispensaries.
Yeah.
Do you invest in them?
No, they're bad businesses. In fact, I was short selling most of those.
Really?
I would bet against them.
You make money short selling.
Yes.
So you've done very well in your career.
Ups and downs.
Yes. What's the biggest? I don't want to say down, up. What are you most proud of?
Well, I started a drug company when I was 28. It became a $4 billion drug company. We got a drug FDA approved. I put a bunch of drugs into phase 3 trials that I designed. So some big successes.
And today, would you say, if you look back, is there anything that you would have done differently?
It's a really tough question. I think it's like a personal philosophy question. I think the answer generally for all people should be no. I think that, of course we make mistakes in life, and of course, we have to learn from them. But if you spend your life looking in the rearview mirror, Mark Andreessen, there was a real big controversy online. I think you've messaged him a few times.
I have.
I was curious if you've done some deals with him.
I have not. Okay. I'm very, very conservative.
I can see.
Yes.
And so the point is, like, introspection and nostalgia and rearview mirror thinking, I think you can get trapped in it. And I think that it's important to move forward and move on. But some parts of the government don't want to do that.
No.
They harbor a grudge.
They do. It seems to be prevalent in many places in the United States, not particularly.
Very unforgiving.
Yes. I want to ask you, were you somebody, when you were in Congress, were you having fun?
I was. I didn't want to be there. I was annoyed.
Yes.
I don't view the Congress with respect.
Yes.
And so I treated them the way I felt like they should be treated. I thought those theatrics anyway.
So if I had to ask you now, going forward, what do you envision, let's say, 10 years from now? Do you see yourself being in jail again?
No, ideally not, no.
If you were in jail again, where would you like to be? Which prison?
I heard European prisons are actually quite good.
They're actually like dungeons.
Compared to American prisons, supposedly they're okay.
Well, solitary confinement, I would say, would be rather difficult.
I've done it 3 times.
You have?
I have.
What was your favorite food when you were in solitary?
They're all pretty bad.
Are they? Is it true that they don't give you mattresses?
No mattresses in solitary, correct?
Horrible.
Yep.
I would hope that you don't go back in the business again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious about the deals you do. How much capital you deployed,